Balfour Beatty plc is a multinational infrastructure group with capabilities in construction services, support services and infrastructure investments. A constituent of the FTSE 250 index, Balfour Beatty works for customers principally in the UK and the US, with developing businesses in Australia, Canada, the Middle East and Southeast Asia. Balfour Beatty is the largest construction contractor in the UK. History: Balfour Beatty was formed in 1909 with a capital of £50,000, an exceptionally large sum for the time. The two principals were George Balfour, a qualified mechanical and electrical engineer, and Andrew Beatty, an accountant, who had met while working for the London branch of the New York engineers J. G. White and Company. Initially the company concentrated on tramways, the first contract being for the 5-tramway light and power company at Dunfermline. Its general construction expertise was extended during World War I with, for example, army camps. George Balfour was elected to the House of Commons in 1918 and played a large part in the debates which established the national grid. To service this new market, George Balfour, Andrew Beatty and others formed Power Securities to finance projects, and the two companies, with their common directors, worked closely together. Balfour Beatty was heavily involved in the development of Scotland unregistered trademark S hydroelectric power, building dams, transmission lines and power stations. Other work between the wars included the standardisation of the electricity supply in Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire, and the construction of tunnels and escalators for the London Underground. Extensive overseas work started in 1924 when Balfour Beatty took over the management of the East African Power and Lighting Company. Construction work included hydroelectric schemes in the Dolomites, Malaya and India. Power stations in Argentina and Uruguay, and the Kut Barrage on the Tigris in Iraq. By World War II, control of the firm had passed on. Andrew Beatty had died in 1934 and George Balfour died in 1941. Construction work was now dominated by the war effort, and notable projects included blocking the approaches to Scapa Flow and the building of 6 of the units for the Mulberry Harbour. Peace saw a resumption of Balfour Beatty unregistered trademark S traditional work, power stations and railway work dominating at home. Overseas, a construction company was bought in Canada in 1953, and other work included the Mtwara Harbour in Tanganyika and the Wadi Thafar irrigation scheme in Iraq. In 1969 Power Securities, which by then owned Balfour Beatty, was taken over by cable manufacturer BICC. Then in 2000 BICC, having sold its cable operations, renamed itself Balfour Beatty. Balfour Beatty moved away from its traditional area of expertise in 1986 when it formed Balfour Beatty Homes, building on a modest scale from its office in Nottingham. It also opened offices in Paisley and Leatherhead, and in 1987 bought the Derbyshire firm of David M. Adams to give it an annualised production rate of 700 houses. Little more than a year before the housing market collapsed, through its parent BICC, Clark Homes was bought for £51 million, giving housing sales of over 1,600 in 1988. By the mid-1990s, sales were down to only 500 a year, and although no financial figures were ever published, the housing operation was believed to have suffered heavy losses. Balfour Beatty Homes was renamed Clark Homes and then sold to Westbury in 1995. Balfour Beatty has embarked on a series of acquisitions including Mansell plc, another construction services business, for £42 million in 2003, Beers plc, a UK construction and civils contractor, for £32 million in 2006, Centex Construction, the commercial construction division of the US builder Centex, for £180 million in 2007, and Cowlin Construction, a UK construction company based in Bristol, also in 2007. In 2008 the company bought GMH Military Housing, a US-based military accommodation business, for £180 million, and Dean & Dibble, a leading UK regional contractor, for £45 a million. In March 2009 the company was found to be a subscriber to the Consulting Association, a firm which has now been prosecuted in the UK by the Information Commissioner for breaching the Data Protection Act by holding a secret database of construction workers' details, including union membership and political affiliations. As of January 2010, individual workers started suing the company for being on the blacklist. The first of these cases, however, was ruled in favor of the company. In September 2009, the company agreed to buy Parsons Brinckerhoff, a U.S.-based project management firm, for $626 a million. In October 2010, the company bought Wholesale Group, a Canadian professional services firm, for £33 a million, and then in November 2010 the company bought the remnant of collapsed UK construction company Rock plc for £7 a million. In June 2011 it went on to buy Howard S. Wright, one of the oldest contractors on the west coast of the United States, for £58 a million, as well as Frucon Construction, a U.S. water and wastewater contractor, for £12 a million, and in January 2013 it bought Subsurface Group, a U.S. consulting and engineering firm. In mid-2014, the company rebuffed 3 offers by rival Carillion for the two companies to merge. The last bid, which valued Balfour Beatty at £2.1 billion, was unanimously rejected by the Balfour Beatty board on August 20, 2014, one day before a deadline for negotiations to conclude. Balfour refused to allow an extension of time for negotiations, which could have prompted a fourth bid. Carillion subsequently announced it would no longer pursue a merger with its rival. The company sold Parsons Brinckerhoff to WSP Global for $1.24 billion in October 2014. Operations: Balfour Beatty has 3 businesses: construction services, building, design, construction management, refurbishment and fit-out, mechanical and electrical services, civil engineering, ground engineering and rail engineering. Support services: installation, upgrade and maintenance of water, gas and electricity networks. Rail renewals. Street and public space management, operation and maintenance. Infrastructure investments, operating a portfolio of long-term PPP concessions in the UK, primarily in the education, health and roads street lighting sectors. Operating a portfolio of long-term military accommodation PPP concessions in the United States. Balfour Beatty also has interests in non-PPP assets in the UK. The company is a 50% shareholder in Gammon Construction, based in Hong Kong. Balfour Beatty is a member of Constructing Excellence and the UK Contractors Group, comprising members of the Confederation of British Industry. Major projects involving Balfour Beatty include, the Kielder Dam, Northumberland, 1982, the Docklands Light Railway in London, 1985, Sheffield Supertram, 1994, large parts of the M25 motorway around London, 1986, the Channel Tunnel, 1994, the Cardiff Bay Barrage, 1999, the Lesotho Highlands Water Project, 2002, Nam Keong Station, Hong Kong, 2003, the Pergao Dam Hydroelectric Project in Malaysia, 2003, the M6 Toll, 2003, University College London Hospital, 2005, Igor I. Sikorsky Memorial Bridge, Connecticut. USA, 2006, Burj Mal, Dubai, 2008, the United States Capitol Visitor Center, 2008, the Birmingham Super Hospital near Selly Oak, Birmingham, 2010, the King's Cross St Pancras Tube Station Northern Ticket Hall, 2009, the East London Line, 2010, the A3 Hindhead Tunnel, 2011, the London Aquatic Centre, 2011, the M25 motorway widening J16 to 23 and J27 to 30, 2012, the Blackfriars Station and Bridge Construction Works, 2012, the new main facility for Parkland Memorial Hospital in Dallas, Texas. Due to complete in 2014, the M4 per metre 5 managed motorways problem in Bristol due for completion April 2014, Crossrail Liverpool Street Station and Whitechapel Station Tunnels project, due to complete in 2018, references. External links, official website, Yahoo profile.